Okay, my name's James. Thanks for having me this morning. James Skaggs, and I'm the founder of powersportsauction.com. I'll wait till we get the slides up here to get started. But we're based here in Frisco. This was a self-funded company, and we recently just did a small raise at a $1 million valuation. So powersportsauction.com, if you don't know what power sports are, these are on- and off-road motorcycles, four-wheelers, side-by-sides, and jet skis. Essentially toys for the outside world. And what we've done is we've created what we believe to be a smarter way to shop for these vehicles. So powersportsauction.com is a platform where consumers can search through. Here we have over $250 million worth of inventory, with all of the prices and the inventory are updated nightly. And that's from, the slide here is 800 dealers. So as of this morning, it's closer to 40,000 vehicles, and we're closer to a $500 million worth of inventory and over 900 dealers. So let me just go ahead and go through. I'm going to focus on the consumer experience instead of the dealer side, because our revenue model is focused on dealers paying us to get ranked in our search results and drive them leads. But we don't have a lot of time today, so I just want to focus on the consumer experience. So what we believe we're doing better is we've created an intelligent search that's lightning fast. When I say it's an intelligent search, you're able to search by year, make, model, color. We have synonym matching. We have typo. We allow for typos, and essentially we do so in milliseconds. So in our first 3 months, we processed 500,000 searches with an average response time of 9 milliseconds. And the reason we focused on search is because I'm actually partnered with the second largest dealer group in the country. The CEO of that company is my partner. And we were able to analyze a year's worth of data of web traffic on their website. And we found that people who used the search functionality actually converted at a higher conversion rate. So people who use search were able to find what they wanted faster. And so we focused on that, as well as the fact that 70% of our users are mobile. And if you've ever used a filter to filter things down on a mobile device, when the filter list gets very long, it's kind of a pain in the butt because you're just constantly scrolling looking for what you're wanting. So when you can just search and find what you want quickly, then it's a better user experience. And what we found is the average user actually conducts 10 searches per visit on our website. Okay, next. We also provide negotiation stats to find the best deals. So once you are able to find all of these vehicles, you need to be able to find the best deals. So what we do is we analyze the local retail market, and we look at the list price of all the vehicles that are listed by dealers, not private owners, and then we rate them using a median distribution. And so every deal is rated as either fair, good, or great. And we tell you whether that price is above or below, and how much above or below the median market price is for your geographic area. And we do that using our similar vehicles algorithm. So we look at a vehicle and we match on things like the year, the make, the model, but we also look at things like the mileage, we look at the geographic area, and just a number of different variables. So we also show you the days on lot. So this is another factor whenever you're trying to negotiate, is how long has that vehicle been sitting on that dealer's lot? So what we do is when that vehicle hits our system, we start counting, and that's day 0. And once a vehicle's been on the lot for more than 90 days, then you know you have more leverage to negotiate. And that's essentially the other stat that we're providing besides just the price rating. Okay. We also have price drop alerts. So I'll speed this up a little bit. If you go to a dealer's website and you're looking to shop and you leave that website and the next day they drop their price, you have no way of knowing that, right? So what we do is we give you more inventory to search. You're searching across more dealers, and you're able to opt in for price drop alerts, which mean if the dealer drops his price, we're actually re-engaging you a few different ways, but the price drop alerts focus mainly on SMS notifications as well as email notifications, but we also do remarketing based on those price drop alerts. So if you're back on Facebook and we know that you've looked at a vehicle and now that vehicle's at a lower price, we might show you an ad for that vehicle as well as similar vehicles. Okay, next. We also have instant pre-approved financing, so we just finished this up. Basically, without affecting your credit score, you can go in, give us a little bit of information. In 60 seconds, we have 2 lenders that can provide you with an instant pre-qualification offer. And one is focused on prime credit, one is focused on subprime and near prime credit. And the process for getting financing at a dealership is kind of a nightmare. And so we've just made it a one-stop shop where once you find what you want or what you're looking for, you can find the best deal, you can find the best point of negotiation, you can opt in for the price alerts, and then you can actually get your financing pre-approved before you ever even go to the dealership. Next. And we also provide vehicle history reports. So think of Carfax for motorcycles. Basically, you want to make sure you're dealing with a quality vehicle, so we provide you with these reports via an API integration that we built. We also provide dealer reviews, so we're using the Google My Business API. Every night we're pulling in the 5 most recent reviews for every dealer, and if you're looking at a vehicle, you can scroll down to the bottom of the page, you'll be able to see the reviews for that particular dealer. If you're scrolling through a list of vehicles, you'll be able to see the star rating that's up to date on that particular dealer. And if you need shipping and you're out of town, no problem. We have an integration with UShip. So basically, you can just enter your zip code on any vehicle detail page. We actually send UShip the year, make, model of that vehicle, and they calculate the weight. And based on that, they look at where it's located, where it's going to, and they send you back an accurate estimate of the cost. And then what we can do is actually help you book that, and then we do monetize on that. And then we have this feature called Make an Offer. So nobody likes to haggle. Once you found exactly what you're looking for, you can actually make an offer. And our team, we call in, we talk directly to the GMs and the sales managers. So if you walk into a dealership today, you're going to deal with a sales floor person who makes commission selling you a vehicle. He has to walk behind a curtain and go get that price approved, right? That's how it is when you're negotiating. We just go behind the curtain for you, and we just take your price, and we say, we have a buyer, and we get right to the best price, and you don't have to talk to them. Thank you.
James, thank you for the presentation. Very good. I've got a couple questions off the top. So this is new and used or just strictly new?
It started off with used, and we just recently added new.
Okay. And the reason you started this was for what?
We started this based out of a need for our existing client. So I also own a digital marketing and analytics company. We're a Google partner company, and we've been managing the marketing and analytics for Freedom Power Sports for a little bit over 2 years now. They were just named the #1 power sports dealer in the country. They're in 3 states. They have about 14 locations. They got tired of sending their vehicles to a physical auction where you get rock bottom prices. They have to load them up on a truck and send them off and pay for the transportation. And if it doesn't sell, you pay to get it back. So they just said, hey, let's just do an online auction of our own. So back in November of 2016, we just bootstrapped and built an MVP in 30 days. And we sold $100,000 in 6-hour auction. And out of that, he said, let's partner. And so we kind of went back to the drawing board, and that's where we've really expanded the feature set.
So you started out regionally and have expanded to national now?
Yeah, absolutely. We started off regionally, and we have dealers all across the United States.
Okay, let's open up to questions. And once again, as I always state, please have the microphone with you as you ask the question, since we are on video, and we will not hear your question if you don't have the mic.
James, it seems like you guys have thought of everything. And not that I was going to be devil's advocate or anything, but I was just, every time you went through a slide, it's like, oh, and we have this and we have that. So I think it's fantastic. I really like your platform. I think you've done an excellent job. I do have a question about the dealers themselves, because you talked about Google reviews. It seems like you focus a lot on reviews. You talked about having reviews of the car as well. So how do you qualify as a dealer?
Well, I basically have to approve you is the process today. So a dealer can go on and create a free account. We have a freemium model, so they can either opt in for a forever free account, or they can opt in for a pro or certified account, but they still get a free 30 days. Once they apply, basically their email address has to match their company, and then we review them on Google ourselves, and we also try to look through their online reputation, and we call them and we speak to them directly. So at the end of the day, we're just self-policing is what it is.
James, very neat presentation. Could you clarify if this is only applicable to dealers to consumers or also consumers to consumers buying as well?
So today this is dealer to consumer only, and we have a dealer to dealer portion of the site that's kind of hidden behind the paywall. But we've had requests to make it private parties allowed to sell, and we haven't gone that route yet, partially because of what she's talking about, where if you sell junk, then now I am stuck dealing with it. Secondly, we're differentiating from eBay and Cycle Trader in that, you know, we don't have private parties mixed in here. So when you're looking at our pricing intelligence and our price ratings, if you're a consumer that feels more comfortable buying from a dealer, but we're factoring in private party prices into our pricing intelligence, then you're not really necessarily getting an accurate picture of the retail dealer market. So we may have that in the future because we could definitely monetize it, but we just haven't gone down that route yet.
I see. The next thing was a follow-up question related to what you said about eBay kind of auction. So in this case, you're just taking, it's a one-person offer to the dealer versus multiple offers and then an online auction kind of thing.
Yeah, so our name's a little bit of a misnomer. We started off as only an auction, and then what we found is the problem with getting dealers to put vehicles in as an auction is they have to actually do something, like upload photos or something like that. So we've built integrations with their websites. So if it's on their website, it's on our website for free, and then we host a weekly Sunday auction that's a timed auction from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. with real-time bidding. And that's where the dealer can, in his dashboard, he can quickly look at, say, show me all the vehicles who've been on my lot for more than 90 days. He can look at those vehicles, click a button, show me all the vehicles that are mispriced according to the market, and then he can, with a click of a button, add it to the auction with an open and a reserve price. And then we're emailing our customer base every Saturday or Sunday, basically saying, hey, come back. So we had in the first month, we had 35,000 website visitors when we did marketing, and we kind of had to pump our brakes because we didn't have the support team in place to be able to handle it. But we just proved that it works, and so we just recently did an investment, and that was the purpose of that investment.
Awesome. Last question. I see the features that you explained are so cool and so user-friendly from the user side that they're playing like a devil's advocate. They're almost unuser-friendly to the dealer side because you give so much power to the user, the rating, the number of days it's on the lot, so you can get a better negotiation. How does it help the dealer sell their vehicles if you give so much power to the user?
Well, since we deal with the GMs and we deal with the sales managers, the main problem that we're solving and the biggest problem that dealers have is too much aged inventory. So this is a platform for the consumers to find the aged inventory and for the dealer to price his products appropriately. And in the meanwhile, if they happen to get free retail leads on their normally priced units that you really can't negotiate too much on, then we haven't really sort of damaged that opportunity for them.
A quick question for you on development. How did you go from idea to app and website? Did you self-develop? Did you contract with another development firm? And how long was that process?
Good question. It was kind of a nightmare. In 2016, we just sort of started bootstrapping, and I did pair programming. So I'm a front-end developer, and I needed to learn the back end. So I basically did the wireframes and all the UX, and then I did pair programming at night for 2 hours a night with another coder so that I wasn't paying somebody to do it. I was learning how to do it while we were doing it. The first version, the MVP, was built in 30 days. And then we took about a 6-month break, and then we started developing what you see today in 6 months off of the original version. And that process, I have one back-end developer that we've worked with full-time. And the process of me learning to code, I found out we were pregnant with our first child, and I didn't know how to code at all. So I started getting up at 3:30 in the morning to learn how to code until 8, and then I did my regular job from like 8 to 5. I did that for 20 months, and just recently, maybe 4 or 5 months ago, I started sleeping again, and it feels great.
Okay, so are you affected by GDPR? And what are you doing with the mail list?
Well, good question. We may or may not be affected by GDPR. I probably need legal advice to actually answer that correctly. But we do not currently have any users from outside of America. When we look at our registered users, we don't have any. We don't do any marketing outside of there. So my personal position on this is that I don't like the fact that I have to alter the user experience for 99.99% of my user base strictly for the 1.001% that may or may not want to be tracked. And my philosophy is that, well, my hypothesis is that 99.99% of the people who see that message that are on a website they want to use are going to opt in anyways. So at the end of the day, like, we all know we're being tracked. We all know we're seeing ads that are based on our user behavior. And with my digital marketing background, I think it actually provides a better user experience because I've bought so many products that I never would have found from Facebook or from Google remarketing that are based on my browsing behavior. So yeah, I probably need advice. That's my best answer.
We all do.
So what segment of the business is the largest right now? Is it the motorcycle part of it, or is it?
Yeah, absolutely. So motorcycles in general represent about $25 billion of annual consumer spend. The jet skis, four-wheelers, and side-by-sides are about another $10 billion. And the dealer software spend, which is basically dealers opting in to either to purchase or subscribe to our platform, is about $500 million. So does that answer your question?
Perfect. And so is there competition that you have in this segment?
Not direct competition, but we do have alternative products. So eBay would be an alternative, Cycle Trader would be an alternative, but we don't see ourselves as mutually exclusive from them. Essentially, dealers have an advertising budget that they have to spend on Google, Facebook, Instagram, Cycle Trader, and what we do is we make sure that our cost per lead is in line with the industry standard based on our data from the second largest dealer group in the country.
James, can you take us back through your revenue structure? Like, how are you compensated by the dealers, and does that compensation model change if you're involved in the negotiation?
Yeah, so I have a whole deck on that, an investor pitch deck that we put together, and I left that out intentionally today, but I will answer your question. So our primary revenue model is the dealer subscription model, and it's no long-term contracts, and it's a free 30-day trial. They pay today as an introductory price until we hit our milestone number of dealers, $99 a month or $149 a month. And to give you context, the larger competitor, Cycle Trader, the cost is around $1,000 per month. At the end of the day, the cost per lead is roughly $25 for a dealer to either get a phone call, a text message, or a form fill with the lead's information, and we target to meet or beat that based on our marketing efforts. And our other revenue model is the auction model. So we're not in auction season right now. Dealers can't keep enough units on their floor. And so they don't want to auction or liquidate much, and that's the purpose of the auction. So their dollars right now are being spent in advertising, so this is essentially another form of advertising. But when we get to the auction model, basically we charge a $10 fee to list the vehicle, and they can relist as many times as they want. We charge a 5% commission on the sale price. We make 30% on the shipping, and we make between $50 and $200 on every pre-approved finance form that actually gets booked. And I think I'm missing a revenue stream, but those are the core revenue streams.
Cool, thank you. I do have a question going back to the $99 per month versus the $1,000 per month. Since you don't have any real direct competition, like, what's your thinking behind that huge variance there, the $99 versus the $1,000?
Well, the power sports industry and just knowing these guys. So the power sports industry is about 10 years behind the automotive space in terms of technology. So they're being pitched every day with different products. And so what we wanted to do is make it so good that they can't say no. And essentially what happens is we get dealers now that are signing up just from organic traffic and just like having a little bit of a footprint on LinkedIn, where we have not started any dealer outreach marketing. But at the end of the day, the dealers, we're only going to target a certain number of dealers at this price, and we're going to grandfather them in. There's about 5,000 dealers nationwide. When the dealer comes online and sees his competitor on there, he really can't afford not to be on there because it's just one more channel, and we have traffic. So we just made it super cheap so that they wouldn't say no, and they wouldn't be too cheap to, put their credit card on file.
Awesome. I have one last question. Matt's kicking me off the microphone. But my last question is, it looks like you're just about closing the loop with everything. So you got the dealers, the consumer, I can get it financed, I can get it shipped. Are you adding an insurance component as well?
That's a great question. With my two partners that we have now, they both have reinsurance businesses, and we're in discussions for upselling warranties and upselling reinsurance. I don't actually know what the difference is, but apparently there's a difference. We're not like selling insurance like Geico or something like that. The competitors are slapping ads on their website for Geico, and I just don't like ads, even though I'm a marketer. I don't want ads on our website. I think it detracts from the user experience. But we do want to offer a way that when you're done with the finance application, we can ask you, do you want to add a warranty to this? It's a 1-year warranty. It's an extra $250, and then we get it booked into the loan, and the lenders have approved us to do that. So.
All right, James, I'll ask the last question. I got a couple things more to say. But so you're here today, and what can we do to help you?
Okay, good question. So if you know anybody who's looking for a motorcycle, four-wheeler, side-by-side, or jet ski, since it's that season, definitely send them to the site. We just want to get as much traffic as possible. So that's an easy one. But if you happen to know any dealers, I would love to have a personal introduction to those dealers. But mainly, I think what you guys could help me with is any media outlets or startup community environment type events that are similar to this in this area that you think might be interested in this type of a technology. I would love to be, expand my network and just try to raise our PR awareness.
Super great concept, great presentation, and we appreciate you being here.